Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Sports Central. Coming up on today's show, we have President and CEO from Sun and Fun, John Leenhouts, from Ironman 7.3 Florida, Maleah Hinkle and James Farrell, and we'll be showing you a little bit about the great event, the Major League Scramble. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back shortly on Sports Central. Welcome back to Sports Central. I'm Al Snow, and with me today is John Oney from Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing.
Flying right seat today, which is going to be the theme for this first segment. Flying
Do you
right
know
seat.
what's
You're
coming
the pilot,
up?
I'm the co-pilot.
Obviously, you know what's coming up. This segment today is brought to you by Visit Florida, one of our great partners here in just about everything we do in tourism and sports marketing. And now joining us, I mean, we've turned the page already into the month of April, and one of our biggest events year-round here is the Sun and Fun Fly-In. So I want to welcome Lights, John Leenhouts from Sun and Fun.
Al, John, thank you very much. It's thrilled to be here representing the 41st Annual Sun and Fun International Fly-In and Expo, which is, by the way, the largest annual convention in the state of Florida, which don't lose that factoid.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That and the second largest fly-in in the United States. So we're looking forward to the event. As usual, what are some of the things that all the aviation enthusiasts and just those that dream of flying, what do you have to offer this year?
Well, you made an interesting point right there. It's a fly-in, yes, but that's only one small component of it. It's actually a convention. So we have a myriad of opportunities for people to come out and experience different levels of aviation, whether it be just hearing about it, a speaker that tells you the story of it, actually getting hands-on to work on aircraft, or listening to a presentation by notable aviation historical people, legends if you will, and then looking at all the myriad of new products that are out there for the aircraft, and then you get to see all the different kinds of aircraft, from aircraft that date back to the earliest days of 1904, 1905, all the way through the newest stuff. And then at the end of every day, we have the coolest part of the show, what everybody loves. That's called the air show, when we get all those really awesome displays of aerial prowess that come from around the world, literally, and they come to display their skills in front of the crowd for about 3 hours. And this year, we're going to have something really unusual. Now, we all know we're bringing in the Thunderbirds. Everybody loves the Blue Angels. They love the Thunderbirds. But what has never been seen in the United States before? The Breitling jet team, straight from France, flying in here to represent the Breitling Watch Company, and they will perform with the largest privately owned jet team in the world. They'll fly with 7 jets in formation for all their aerobatic maneuvers, and they will perform on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. But you talk about something pretty cool. Nobody's ever seen them, so it's a first in America. How's that to get the thing going?
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I mean, Sun and Fun is always special, but to bring in a flight team like that just really will draw some people in, and we're definitely looking forward to the Breitling team.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, you talk about 41 years of doing this event. That's a long time. I mean, that's several decades, and a lot have happened. Lots happened since the very first event. So how do you guys keep building on the momentum for this? I mean, I know the Breitling team, but how do you guys keep doing that and producing such a great event?
Well, you know, the first thing you look at is what worked, stay with it. What didn't work, get rid of it. And then you say, well, if I had an opening for what didn't work, because I'm done with that and trying something new, well, you start adding new dimensions. And one of the things that we've added to our program, if you will, our Sun and Fun Fly-In, is the youth component. As you probably well know, there is a shortage of trained commercial pilots and mechanics. It's of historical proportion. We've never seen this before. We didn't create enough. You can't create them overnight. So our number one job right now is to reinvigorate the youth with a potential career in aviation, whether it be building, designing, flying, fixing, painting, or just doing a dispatch or taking tickets at the counter. It's to get people back into aviation. So we're adding more youthful aviation components, like a youth camping area this year, and our campus is now aligned with our Aerospace Center for Excellence. So when people come to Sun and Fun, which used to be the spring break for pilots, let's go have a party, woo, to, hey, when I go there, I get to have all this fun stuff, but at the end of the day, all that money goes back into aviation education, because we've built our new focus in life, which is the Aerospace Center for Excellence, which takes young men and women, starting at about the age of 9, all the way up through 18, 19 years old, and we give them a head start by getting them into aviation to learn to fly for free, learn to become a mechanic for free, and then we get them into college and give them scholarships to go to aviation-related fields. So now, not only are we adding new things to the fly-in to make it more exciting, but we're giving it people a purpose. You come for a reason. So when you go away, you're actually adding to the building blocks to build a brighter future through aviation, which is our new moniker.
Yeah, that is fantastic, and you know, there's so many different things that are part of the fly-in, and like you said, you can pretty much find anything you might want related to aviation. But I know one of the more popular is those that either love the warbirds or love the history of aviation. And you guys always do such a great job of bringing in some great speakers and bringing in some, you know, really fascinating aviation. Well, I don't know if you call them relics, but planes that have seen some great history. So what are you bringing in this year for?
Bigger and better than ever. You know, you always say that year after year, but it's really true. Sure. I mean, it really is true. And our ramp, which used to be about 5 acres, was a reasonable size area to put large aircraft, military airplanes from the previous centuries. And this year, because of the support we have from the city of Lakeland and Lakelander Airport, we have almost 8 acres of ramp, of new pristine property that's all asphalted, new power and water out there. So we are able to bring in this year not only the B-17 for rides and the Ford Tri-Motor, but we're also bringing in for the first time ever the airplane that starred in the movie Unbroken, the B-24 Liberator. You'll be able to buy rides on that. And then we brought in this group called Texas Flying Legends from the middle of Texas. And of course, they have a P-40 Warhawk and a P-51 and a Corsair and a TBM Avenger, all those really neat airplanes. But guess what they're bringing one of only 3 flying in the world? A Japanese Zero. There's only 3 left in the world, and this is one of them. And they're on site already. So that's just a small taste of what's going to be filling that ramp. Oh, and by the way, we're bringing in all the Korean vintage jets. All right, F-86, MiG-21s from Vietnam, and every day you'll be able to go out there and listen to guys talk about what it's like to have flown that airplane in combat back during the 50s and 60s in Korea and Vietnam. Very exciting stuff.
You know, what's exciting about this is this discussion, he's got some passion. It's obvious to our viewers, and it's contagious too. But what's great about it is it translates well into the community. From the moment you start to hear some of these old planes come in, you can hear them well in advance of the event. A week in advance, you'll start to hear them fly overhead, and you know Sun and Fun is coming. I get goosebumps thinking about it because it's so special. So talk about the schedule real quick for the viewers.
Yeah.
How do they get tickets? When's the first opening day? All that good stuff.
Well, we open up on Tuesday, the 21st of April, and we run through Sunday, the 26th. A couple of sweet deals that have already happened, which I'm sorry if you didn't get it, you're a little bit late. We did some super Christmas, Valentine's, and St. Patty's Day, which, by the way, our ticket sales electronically ahead of schedule, double what they've been in any year previous.
Wow.
Huge start. All right, so you get your tickets online, www.sun-in-fun.org, because we are a nonprofit. Get those tickets as fast as you can, because the later you wait, the lines get longer. You want to go to will call with your electronic ticket and just walk up, swap out your electronic for the wristband, and in you go. A week's ticket is the best way to go. It's basically you get 3 days for free. So you want to buy them online and then go up there to will call. Tuesday, it's all World Aerobatic Championship performances. It'll start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and run through 5:30. And then on Wednesday, we're going to start at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's an all Warbird day. So it's all the great aircraft that flew in the First, Second War. And you go, wait a minute, like you said, the First World War. How about the real flying Jenny from 1917? And they're going to be there flying. You don't want to miss that. Wednesday night, we call that Wild Wings night, because we're putting airplanes up at night and serving up beer and wings for those that are there. And we're going to have a Wednesday night air show. You don't want to miss it. Thursday is going to be our formation day. So it's anywhere from 2, 4, 6, 8 aircraft all doing formation work out there, military aircraft as well as civilian. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are a collection of all kinds of aerobatic Warbirds, and then our military teams, because the Thunderbirds start. Now don't forget, Tuesday will be the first day you can see the Breitling team. They'll perform first thing out of the gate at 3 o'clock on Tuesday. They'll fly again on Friday and Saturday. And then the Thunderbirds will be performing on Saturday, Sunday, but they do a practice thing on Friday. Looks a lot like a show, but it's not legally. And so they'll be out there having a good time, and you can watch that. And then Saturday night, don't miss it. If you're a Florida resident, you really want to take advantage of this. We have a daytime show and a nighttime show for everybody. But if you're a Florida resident, guess what? You buy Saturday's ticket, you get Saturday show, Sunday night show, come back Sunday, it's on us for free because you're a Florida resident.
Oh, wow.
That's fantastic.
That's great.
Yeah. And Sun and Fun does so much, year round. I mean, there's so many different aspects to Sun and Fun and the education and what you all do in the community. You're such a great guest. You've been on many times before, and we will definitely be having you back to talk a little bit more about that. The other 51 weeks of the year that once you get to take your breath from Sun and Fun, then some of the other things that you do in the community. So,
well, the reality is, everybody says, oh, well, Sun and Fun's over with, take a break till next year. Au contraire, within weeks after the event's over with, get everything all cleaned up, we go right into our summer schedule, then to our fall schedule, and we have just a myriad of really awesome events that bring in tens of thousands of people for other kinds of venues. So that just keeps us going nonstop. So there's no more, as the staff you say, what happened to Sleepy Hollow? It left. That train left the station.
Hey, Lights, real quick. I mean, you've got did you say Thunderbirds coming in this year?
Yes, sir.
So what's the skinny? Who's better pilot, the Thunderbirds or the Breitling jet team?
Well,
let it out right here.
Okay, I can tell you this, and I didn't come up with this. This is just reality of life. When you go up there at the Olympics, right? You're at the Olympics. Okay, what do they give the second place? Those are silver. Mm-hmm. Those would be Air Force Silver Wings. What do they win? Give the first place?
Yep.
Navy Gold Wings. When you
okay.
put that kid out there on an F-18 and put him down on a flight deck of an aircraft carrier in the middle of the night, you're separating the men from the boys right now.
Absolutely.
You heard it here.
Yeah, we have heard it. Anybody wanting any additional information? Sun and Fun, suninfun with dashes.org. You get all your information for the Sun and Fun fly-in. Carrying on that aviation theme, we've got the Mustangs and Mustangs event. Stick around for the next segment of Sports Central.
Yeah, Kermit Weeks here at Creator Fowler Fantasy Flight, which is where we're at right now. We're at a great event that we do once a year in April. It's called Mustangs and Mustangs. I brought my two P-51s, and we got about 450 Ford Mustangs here as well.
This is our 1965 Mustang GT. It's a convertible. Amy and I got it about 5 years ago, and we started a restoration, which we still are working on, but we started driving the car in November 2012. The car is an original GT. We've added a 289 high-performance drivetrain in this car. It's a 4-speed. It's the car I always wanted. My first car was a 65 Mustang Coupe back in 1972, and I always wanted this car. So 5 years ago, I got a picture, put it in my garage, and started from there, and this is where we're at 5 years later.
Mustang show in Polk City, and we have our 2007 Roush Mustang convertible here, and this is about the 5th or 6th year that we've been here, and they've had this show about 16 years, and it's a very successful event. We've got years going all the way back to the mid-60s up till 2013, so we have quite a variety here for people to enjoy. We've only had this car for about 2 years, and we also have a 68 coupe that we used to show quite a bit, and now this is our show car. Easier to keep clean and easier to keep in good repair. Well, Jack Roush was gracious enough to come to Brandon Ford about 2-3 years ago, roughly, and he likes to sign. He signed the dashboard as well, and he signs people's engines and different things, and he's very gracious about that. He likes to come out and support the event.
This is a 1968 Mustang that I found that was sitting in the backyard 19 years, covered up with a tarp and in pieces. And I bought it home and restored it from the ground up. I put a 347 stroker in it, stroker engine custom built, putting out 415 horsepower, aluminum heads, roller cam.
If you missed it this year, come out and see us next year. Mustangs and Mustangs at Fantasy of Flight.
That was a great view of the Mustangs and Mustangs event, and welcome back to the second segment of Sports Central. This segment is brought to you by Harborside Restaurant in Winter Haven. Great restaurant if you want to go for a place for the sunset.
Absolutely.
Harborside is the place to do it.
Newly renovated too.
Yeah, it's if you haven't been there, you definitely have to go check it out. Some great food, great seafood, beautiful setting. Now in the second segment, we're going to be joined by Maleah Hinkle, who is a triathlete, also works for Haines City Parks and Recreation, and James Farrell, race director for Ironman 70.3 Florida.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Yes.
Again, it just seems like every year some of these great events are just get bigger and better. You know, what are we looking for? What are the dates, and what are we looking for Ironman this year?
Basically, it's happening on April 12th, next Sunday. The race starts at 6:50 in the morning. It'll probably extend until 4:20 in the afternoon. Hoping for the last athlete to come in. But basically, it's a 1.2 mile swim. It's a 56 mile bike and a 13.1 mile run. Basically, it's a half distance of the marathon. So.
Yeah, that's great. Now we've heard before why we're so great to host this destination. So let's talk a little bit about this event. Let's talk about why our destination, Haines City, is so good to Ironman for having this event, and why it's so critical. Why the athletes like coming to this event.
Well, it's a small community, and it definitely helps that we have this whole Lake Eva Park area. We basically can handle a whole event in this area. Without any distractions from other counties and basically road closures, so on and so forth. It basically just provides a essential location for us to put on a triathlon.
And this is, the fourth year of the event, and again, it's kind of gotten bigger and better every year. There's a lot for people to do when they come down to Lake Eva Park, kind of in addition to just the competition, which is obviously a big part of it. What else is there to do when they come down to Lake Eva?
Well, actually, Maleah can touch on this since she's from Haines City.
Well, of course, Ironman brings out a lot of the vendors and things like that the athletes and their families enjoy. But we also are doing on that Saturday, there's the Kids Fun Run, so that kind of gets the children involved as well. And then we are doing a Run the Ridge 5K that morning for spouses or anything like that kind of want to get involved. So you kind of round off the weekend for the whole family. So that's nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of activity. I mean, this is my third year having the honor to actually work part of the event on behalf of Polk County Sports Marketing. So for those of the viewers out there who might not know what Ironman is, everyone sees Ironman Florida 70.3. And I think the important part is the 70.3.
Pretty much.
Can you explain, maybe both of you or one of you, just explain what the 70.3 is and sort of the different elements to this event?
Basically, Ironman comes into a community, basically provides as much help as they can within the community, and to get back, we have basically a course that spreads across 70.3 miles. So the 1.2 swim, the 56-mile bike, and the 13-mile run basically compiles that 70.3 for the half-distance triathlon. And Maleah will actually be experiencing that on Sunday, so she can tell you from an athlete perspective how that, moves forward.
It's quite a distance, but it really is a really fun event. Last year was the first time that I'd ever competed in any sort of triathlon, so 70.3 miles is definitely a long way to go. A lot of people have said, I don't even do that in my car in a day typically. But it's really neat. I think we're up to almost 2,000 athletes is what they said at the meeting on Wednesday, which is awesome. It's a great thing. The city loves to have, all these people come out for. Ironman's great to work with. But it's a really neat event. I had never heard of it before it came to Haines City, so it's been very enlightening, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, I know, in working the event and being there and talking with some of the competitors that have come in and year out, it's, people think, okay, it's Florida, it's going to be great, it'll be a nice flat run and a nice flat ride, and that's not necessarily the case. I mean, what are some of the things you experience out there on the road, either on the bike course or the run course?
Well, the bike course isn't that bad the first half, but then the second half is absolutely very hilly, and you would not expect that in Florida. So I do think some of the athletes are a little surprised. And then the run course as well, Haines City happens to have a couple hills on our 10th Street area, which is part of the run course, so that's definitely something that the athletes, I don't think, always expect. So.
Especially because it's a 3-loop course as well for the run, so they have to hit it 3 times. It does make it a little bit of a challenge.
Now I'm sure they're counting down, okay, I've been to that hill once, I'm going here again, I mean.
Yeah, and the best part about this from our perspective is, you mentioned the 2,000 athletes. These aren't just 2,000 athletes from Polk County. I mean, and that by far, that's not what happens. These 2,000 athletes pretty much come from all over the country, if not the world. I know some Canadians come down for this event, and when they come, they'll come for a week and stay in our vacation rental homes, they stay in the hotels, they're eating in our restaurants, so it's a huge economic impact for Polk County.
Definitely.
So we definitely appreciate that and look forward to hosting many more Ironman competitions. So, but just tell us a little bit about, you mentioned Iron Kids and that little portion of the event. Speak a little bit about that and why it's important to get the kids engaged in triathlons early versus later.
Definitely. Basically, bringing these families into these communities, they do want to provide something for their families to do during race week. They are here for 3 to 4 days, maybe even longer. The Iron Kids race is going to be on Saturday morning. We have it at 10 o'clock, and it's 2 distances. One's a quarter of a mile and one's a mile. It stays within the park perimeter, right on the sidewalk, and finishes actually in the finish line of the athletes as well. So hopefully it inspires them to want to do that one day and keep them growing, keep them healthy, and keep them involved in the sport. It's definitely like an older sport, I would say. We allow it to start at 18. So basically before that, we want to encourage these kids with tri clubs and so on and so forth, and at least get involved in one portion of it, swimming, running, or biking. It usually leads to a bigger challenge and try to do something better in the future.
In Central Florida being a draw in itself, but again, like we spoke about, you have visitors and people competing coming in from South America, Europe, I mean, all over the world. Obviously, they're competing for, to win their age group or whatever it may be, but there's other things behind that they can win to go on to the next step. What are some of the steps that they can go on to, you know, after they win or they do well at this event?
Well, since it's a half of a full triathlon, basically a lot of people's next step is to keep doing another 70.3, build up their stamina to get into a full distance. Basically, triathletes are pushers. They push themselves. So they want to push themselves to a full distance triathlon, and the ultimate goal after that, in everyone's eyes as a triathlete, is to visit Kona and go to the World Championships in Kona for a full distance. We also have a full distance 70.3 World Championships that actually moves year to year. This year it's going to be in Austria. Next year they pick a location. So basically it also encourages their families to travel around the world and see different areas and how different events are handled in certain locations. So it's an ultimate goal period just to cross the finish line, but obviously if you can go to Hawaii, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen, you know, my first year witnessing this event, I was inspired and I said, man, I need to do Ironman. I feel like I should do it, but
Then reality hit. Right?
Then reality hit. So I haven't done it yet. But Maleah, last year was your first year.
Yes.
Maybe talk a little bit about what that was like training for your first triathlon, but then what did you learn from the event, from participating in the event?
Like I said, I had never heard of it before it came to Haines City, and so when I saw it, the same thing, I was like, man, this is really neat. You know, the very first time I saw it, I thought those people are crazy. Who would want to do that to their body, you know? But I just started kind of running and then adding swimming and things like that, and before I knew it, you know, kind of put them all together. But after the competition, you know, one of the things that you realize is, honestly, it's very mental, because if you look at the athletes that participate in it, they come in all shapes and sizes and age. So it really is mental and, you know, kind of putting your body to the test to see what it can do. And most of them, their ultimate goal is to get to Kona. So it really is a neat event, and you can be surprised, you know, once you get through it, what your body can do. And so then each year, you know, this year, I kind of obviously want to cut my time back even more than last year. So it's a really fun event, and I was surprised how much I enjoyed it, because I was never really big on any of these things prior to that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you know, we did touch on, you know, Lake Eva Park a little bit earlier, and I think one of the neat things that people that want to come out and see the event will see, in addition to kind of the vendors and that there, is you can watch all three aspects of the race in one place. You can watch everybody come in off the swim. They're heading out on the road, you know, for the bike, and then, you know, the run, the start and finish. So I mean, really, you can spend the whole day right there at the park, watch a lot of the competition, and you know, stand right there at the start and finish line and see the whole thing from start.
Especially covering that distance, you usually don't get to view it from a spectator standpoint, and especially with Lake Eva Park being so great. I mean, spectators can sit there all day and always see an athlete, so it's an unbelievable place.
Yeah. And just, why don't you touch a little bit again, Maleah, on the Run the Ridge 5K? How can people get involved, the exact times and registration for that?
Okay. Run the Ridge is going to be on the Saturday, April 11th at 8 a.m. is when it kicks off. So you can currently register on active.com if you want to do that. We are also setting up a tent that will be down at Lake Eva Park next to Polk County Sports Marketing up near the stage on Friday, so people can register on Friday as well. So if you register right now before race day, it's $30 a person, or 14 and under is $25 a person. If you want to register the day of the race, which is perfectly fine, it's $40 a person, and then $35 for 14 and under. So again, you can go to active.com to register for that. It'll start at 8 a.m. on Saturday, April 11th, and check-in will be from 7 to 7:45 that morning.
It's a really great opportunity to get off the couch.
Yes.
Come out to Ironman on Saturday, run a 5K or walk a 5K.
Right. Yep.
But really, the fun part about that is the finish is the same finish as
Yes.
Ironman, so you kind of get to go through there and
Oh,
do
yeah.
one of those kind of things. Yeah. I did it twice last year, and I didn't even run the race. I just did it for the heck of it.
And you get to experience the hill on 10th Street, so you can get a little taste of what the athletes go through. So.
That's great. And as far as the Ironman event goes, Sunday, the 12th of April, pretty much all day long, but it does start at what time again?
The race will start at 6:50.
And Lake Eva Park is the place to be. You'll see, you know, parking. We'll get more information in the local papers about the ability to park. But James, where can people go if they just want to learn more about Ironman?
Definitely go to our website. It's www.ironman.com. From there, it can individualize it into events, specific events, locations, distance, information, anything. Also, I think Run the Ridge is on there as well under our specific event website, so Ironman 70.3 Florida. which if you still go under Ironman, you can find that event.
And for those that can't necessarily make it down to Lake Eva Park, they can follow their runners also. You have usually live updates with times and
Absolutely.
how people are finishing.
On the same website, you hit the event. There'll be a little link at the top of the event during that day. It comes on that day, so you can hit that link. If you know your athlete's number or name, you can look it up under that. And it basically tracks that athlete through their entire course. So
Great.
you can keep up with them all day.
Fantastic.
Best of luck, Maleah.
Thank you very
James,
much.
Maleah, yeah, good luck, Maleah, and we'll see you all out there at Lake Eva Park. Right now, we want to take a look back at last year's Ironman event.
Ironman in general is a global brand. We have not all Ironman branded events, but all of our events encompass a little over 250 globally. And some of those are events within events. Australia has festivals, things like that. But our key, pinnacle brands, Ironman, Ironman 70.3, are great brands that we have both in North America, really all 6 continents. Specific to the one here in Haines City, it's an Ironman 70.3 race, and that consists of a 1.2 mile swim, a 56-mile bike ride, and a 13.1 mile run. Events like this are great for a city for a lot of reasons. You get a lot of new people here. We have, globally, we see athletes from over 180 countries that visit our series and all the communities that we go to. Not necessarily all 180 in each community, but a lot of them. I've seen people here from Brazil, from Austria, all over the place. So you get a lot of people that would come to Haines City that maybe never would have been here before. And it's a great way to kind of discover the place, discover a lot of the communities that we go to. There's a lot of criteria that make our events special and help us choose where to go. Haines City especially has a really big support group here from the city. The CVB, the Sports Commission, everybody really comes together to help us put on a great event. And you'll find communities that do that and welcome us. Those are the best events. We have the best spectating, a lot of economic impact in those areas because of the support we get from the city. And it's also a beautiful venue. There's a lot of beautiful places to go. And while Haines City has a lot of places that very close by are probably considered tourist destinations, Lake Eva Park is beautiful. And every time we come here, it's sort of like a diamond in the rough for us. It's a great venue. Having a good relationship with the community really means a lot to us, and it helps us put on an event that's really special. Our athletes spend months, years sometimes training for these events, so for them to come to a community and be welcomed with open arms and feel like they belong there makes it all that more rewarding for somebody who spent so much and will forever identify with the accomplishment.
For smiling Caitlin Snow, Victor Svenska, number 3. He trains in Claremont, Florida. Victor, wow, came out of nowhere to take the victory today.
Welcome back to the third segment of Sports Central. Third segment of today's show is sponsored by Ovations. Shortly, we'll have an athlete spotlight for you, but first we're going to take a look at a great tradition in spring training every year, the Major League Scramble, which is a part of the Detroit Tigers organization event. So let's take a look at this year's Major League Scramble.
We're here at the 20th annual Major League Scramble. It's hard to believe it's been 20 years already. It's hard to believe that it's been 79 years that the Tigers have called Lakeland home. Cold front going through, but hot action on the course. Let's take a look. It's not very often you get to interview a legend, Mr. Tiger, Hall of Famer, Mr. Al Kaline. Al, thank you so much for continuing to come out and support the Major League Scramble.
Oh, this is great. You know, I've been coming down here for so many years, and I know I have a lot of friends here. I have a home. I spend the winters down here, so no, I look forward to it, and it gives me a chance to see some of my old buddies.
Absolutely. And you've seen a lot of those Tigers teams over the years. How's this team looking for you this year?
We're going to be very competitive again. The one thing about it, we're not the odds-on favorite this year as we have been in previous years, but that's good. I think that maybe that little push that what we need to get us over the hump. You know, we've been good for 4 years. Now it's the time to go to the World Series.
If we're talking to a young baseball player, what would be that piece of advice that you would give them to either get better in their game or really in life in general?
Well, first of all, very few kids make the major leagues or sign professionally, so I would encourage education completely. But if you're one of the stars and they offer you an awful lot of money, then you have to consider it. But believe me, it's tough to make a professional team, even the minor leagues. So I would encourage education, and if you're able to play in college and do well, then go for it. But education is really important.
All right, Mr. Kaline, thanks again for coming out.
Thank you.
We're here with 2011 Cy Young Award winner Justin Verlander. And Justin, you've been at this event, the Major League Scramble, a number of years now. You're kind of old hat at this. How you hitting them so far?
We're doing all right. We're playing pretty good. I got a good group of guys. We're all playing pretty well, so hopefully we can win it again this year.
Number of years now, you guys have won the Central Division, been to a World Series, been the American League Championship, all that. How's the roster look? I know you guys just reported, but how's the roster look for this year?
I think we look great. You know, I love our roster. I love the moves that Dave made. I'm really excited for this upcoming season.
We were talking to Mr. Kaline, of course, a Hall of Famer and a great supporter of not only this event, but a lot of events in Lakeland. And he was talking about get that education. Not every player makes it. Not very many players make it to the major leagues. What would your advice be for a young ball player just starting out?
Well, I mean, I think it's obviously a great thing given to youth sports, but you know, like he said, you know, not everybody makes it to the majors, but you know, it's twofold. You know, playing sports is a great thing. Keeps you out of a lot of trouble, and you know, you can follow your dreams in one aspect, but also get an education. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand. You know, you play baseball for me because I love it. I just happened to make it, but I also got an education at the same time, and you know, that was my fallback plan, and I always had that in my back pocket in case I needed it.
Well, you guys have seen record numbers each year in spring training. It doesn't hurt to have won 4 straight division championships, but talk about the Tiger fans and their support here in Lakeland.
The fans are fantastic. You know, I live down here a lot in the off season. I come down in early January, and you can see the fans. Once we start getting close to spring training, you start seeing the Tigers fans and people from Detroit start trickling into Lakeland, and you know, you start seeing more and more people wearing the Old English D and just being around the city, and they do a great job just coming to support us, and it means a lot.
Justin, we appreciate your time coming out here, and good luck this season.
All right, thanks.
We're here with 2012 Cy Young Award winner David Price, and David, with the Tigers at the end of last year, but your full season in spring training here in Lakeland. How's it going so far?
It's going good. You know, just getting this time to get to know everybody more on a personal level. You know, I think that it speaks volumes whenever you get to the end of the year. You know, having that team chemistry, that camaraderie as a group, as a whole. You know, that's what we're working on right now.
Of course, the Tigers Foundation of Florida, all the money raised in this annual Major League Scramble goes to that, supporting local youth baseball. Talk to us a little bit about when you were little and growing up and getting the love of the game.
I mean, that's when baseball is probably the most fun. You know, that's when you're a little kid. You just go out there and strap it on, and that's a time where I really fell in love with the game of baseball, and that's for me probably my most cherished years of baseball.
Well, good luck to you. We're glad to have you as part of the Tiger organization. Of course, they've been spring training here in Lakeland. This is the 79th year, so looking for that World Series championship, right?
That's always the goal.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck. We're here now with the Director of Florida Operations for the Tigers, Ron Myers. And Ron, another great spring training season kicking off. And as always, the Tiger Barbecue with the Lakeland Chamber was a great event. Now we're at the Major League Scramble. Talk to us about the upcoming spring training.
Well, we're excited. This is always a great time, you know, the anticipation of spring training beginning. But our Tiger Barbecue goes back 69 years, and this scramble goes back 19 years. So, you know, we're very proud of some of the traditional things that we do to bring the community involved with us, and it's just a great event.
Well, and I think there's a misconception out there that spring training is only in 6 weeks. The Tigers have an impact on Polk County year-round.
Oh, with our Flying Tigers and our camps and everything that we got going on. But when we have this expansion, we're looking to do stuff 12 months out of the year. So we're very excited about that as well.
We'll talk about that just briefly because I know you need to go hit that drive. It's going to go about 300 yards. But the expansion, the new contract, Tigers staying in Lakeland.
Well, it was really a fun experience to go through, working with the city, working with the county, and being able to establish a relationship that's going to be 100 years to date. So we're very excited that it was very easy to get it done. Everybody worked together and came together, and when this thing is built and completed, everybody is going to be very proud of our facility.
You guys keep breaking records for spring training. It doesn't hurt to have a great venue, but the ball club's pretty good too.
Oh, absolutely. We're not geniuses here. If the team wins, people come. So, but we try to make them comfortable.
All right. Well, Ron, thanks for what you do, not only with the Tigers, but the Tigers Foundation of Florida and giving back to the local teams.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here with Polk County Commissioner Todd Dantzler. And Commissioner Dantzler, there's a misconception out there. We talked to Ron Myers about it earlier that the Tigers' spring training is only 6 weeks long. Spring training may be 6 weeks long, but the economic impact of Polk County is year-long, right?
Absolutely. The Lakeland Flying Tigers are here. The Major League ball players that stick around, the quality of life that they bring, the celebrity that they bring is a phenomenal thing for Lakeland and Polk County in general. Again, you said it right, the players are here 6 weeks, but they're running baseball schools here, so the economic impact is felt not only in Lakeland but also in Polk County. It's a great tournament out here that Leonard Mass and Drummond Corporation have put on here at the golf course, and it's just an honor to play. We got a chance to play with Mr. K-Line today, and it's a real big thrill.
79th year of spring training for the Tigers in Lakeland, and recently just the announcement of the extension with the partnership between the Board of County Commissioners, Tourism and Sports Marketing, the City of Lakeland, the Tigers, the state of Florida. It took a lot of partnerships to get that done.
There was a lot of moving parts to make it happen, and Polk County certainly stepped up and played a major part in it. We committed $14.5 million of tourism development bed tax to it, and I'm very proud of the commissioners for stepping up and doing that. I'm proud of the City of Lakeland for doing it. The Tigers stepped up. It's just been a great marriage for 79 years, and looking forward to them celebrating their 100th year here in 21 years.
Well, Commissioner, we won't keep you from the link, so good luck on your game today.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, that's a wrap here from the 20th Annual Major League Scramble at Grasslands. Special thanks go to the Tigers Foundation of Florida, the players, the coaches, and the alumni who made this event possible.
Last year, it hurt me that I was so close to winning it, but couldn't get the job done. So this year, I've been finishing all my matches out like it was the state finals last year. Every match is my state finals match until I win my state championship. But last year, I was unfortunate. I had to wrestle the Brandon kid at districts, had to wrestle him again in the regional finals, and then I had to wrestle him again in the state finals where I lost to him all 3 times. So I'm prepared this year. Like if I have to wrestle the same kid 3 times in a row like I did last year, this time I'm gonna be on the other end of it. I'm gonna win 3 times in a row.
He came to us coaches and said, look, I want to win it. I want to do whatever it takes. And we said, well, listen, it's going to take this. It's going to take hard work. It's going to take a lot of sacrifice. It's going to take a lot of year-round training.
I just started wrestling nonstop. I went to Texas, I wrestled there, South Carolina. I went to Michigan this summer. I went to Disney Duels. I just went everywhere to get some mat time, to get better. That way I can be the best wrestler in the state of Florida this year.
Champs on 3, champs on 3, 1, 2, 3. Champs!
We push each other hard every day. Hard. We go hard with each other. We don't take nothing easy. We wrestle each other like we're in a match for a medal, and that's why we're a good team. Anybody can be beat. I beat 2 state champs this year. I see everybody as a state champion, so I wrestle them like a state champion. I never like to lose, so I do what I can to never have to face a situation where I'm losing. So I outwork my opponents to where I'm winning at all situations. Going into the season, I set my goals to be an undefeated state champ. And being undefeated right now is just the first part of my goal. Even if I lose one, as long as I'm state champ, I'm still happy with it.
He always was straightforward. He always knew what his goal was. And I can tell you there's one thing that he never said. He never said it was a definite that he would win a state title. He says, I'm going to work as hard as I can, and if I win the state title, I win it. If not, they're going to have to go through hell to beat me.
This year, 118 and 28 overall, 2014 state runner-up. Ladies and gentlemen, folks from Lake Gibson, Daniel Walker, and Brent George, Cedarian Perry. Undefeated at 45-0. Ladies and gentlemen, from Lake Gibson, Cedarian Perry.
You know, I haven't lost a match since last year's state tournament, and that just shows how much I wanted it this year. I wasn't gonna get denied. Last year I was denied my state title. This year, I earned it.
Just so excited. Cedarian worked so hard, and he finally got what he wanted. You know, he tried last year, and he got it this year.
What a great athlete. I mean, Cedarian Perry just.
Yeah,
and the wrestling side of things. I mean, there's no one better. State champion.
State champ this year. I mean, he's an animal for sure, and I mean, he's going places. He's looking at, I'm sure,
major college.
Wrestling
programs.
So yeah, good for him. Congratulations. That's phenomenal.
Absolutely. Well, we're back on our fourth segment of Sports Central, the local update portion, and that is sponsored by the Trophy Shop. You know, just talking with James and Maleah, and then Lights about Sun and Fun, and just so many great and big events coming this month, and probably one of the bigger ones, number of participant wise, is Skills USA. We've had them here on the show a couple of times, but John and you and I have worked on that event, and just something totally different than what we would normally bring, and
Yeah, and it's certainly an event that maybe is under the radar of sorts. It's not a sports event, but it's certainly an event that's significant to the county. I mean, they're looking at 1,800 or 2,000 students from around the state coming in for the Skills USA State Conference. It'll be held at the Lakeland Center April 26th, I believe, through the 29th.
Yeah.
And these kids are phenomenal in their own right, and they've got, within this state conference, they must have 30 different skills-related career paths or potential jobs that these kids are working on and competing for.
Yeah, when we talk state champions, I mean, you have these kids that went through local and regional championships, and they're here to compete for state championships, but they're not in baseball, they're not in football, they're in carpentry and video production and graphic design. I mean, it's just a whole different aspect to what we offer in Polk County, and these kids, again, they're going to be competing for a state championship and then going on to the national championship. So I mean, just a real feather in the cap for all the students and their teachers and their advisors that'll be here.
It really is, and what's neat is you'll have potential employers at this conference, and they'll do a career day of sorts, and some of these kids can really showcase what their skills are to these potential employers, and who knows, a year down the road they'll have a job right out of high school, which is phenomenal. And one of the things that Lights mentioned earlier on in the episode was the need for aviation mechanics, and those types of trade jobs. And geez, what a great way to segue right into that.
Right.
You know, we've got that program, so it's gonna be a great event.
Yeah, and you know, just again, it speaks to the diversity. We talk about that a lot here. The diversity in the events that Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing is able to bring to the community, and on the sports side of things, I mean, you know, I guess we're best known for, you know, baseball and softball and soccer and kind of the traditional sports, but, you know, we've broadened our horizons over the years on, you know, I don't know if you want to call them minor sports or just different niches. I mean, IPSC World Shoot, I mean, practical shooting, we're on the world map for practical shooting.
Yes.
You know, ultimate frisbee and rugby, and it's amazing the different events that we're able to bring to the area.
Yeah, and really that's a testament to sort of kind of looking at the marketplace across the country and kind of finding out what other things we can do. We're not just a field sports destination anymore. We do a little bit of everything. And one of the events that, and certainly one of the sports that are a trend these days on the national scene is paintball. So we've got the National Collegiate Paintball Association's National Championship coming right here, well, to Polk County, but in Lakeland, Florida. From April 17th through April 19th, and that'll be held at Central Florida Paintball up on 98, and that's a huge event.
Another neat event to watch. I mean, you wouldn't think paintball, but you know, we do have the national championship here for collegiate paintball. We also have a world championship here for paintball. Just really neat to go watch those type of events.
Yeah.
And on more of the traditional side of things, the Florida ISA Youth softball event is coming to the Bartow 555 complex later on this month, and that's going to be the 18th through and 19th of April.
Yep, another great event that Don Stratton and his team put together every year, and so we're thankful to have ISA softball here in Polk County. Of course, we mentioned Sun and Fun, the International Fly-In and Expo. If you didn't get it earlier, the dates were Tuesday, April 21st through Sunday, April 26th at the Sun and Fun Complex in Lakeland. It's at the airport there. If you haven't gone by now, you really need to get out there and see this event. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and a big name in the sports world, again, talking a different sport, Rowdy Gaines, you know, Olympic champion. Rowdy Gaines has the Rowdy Cup, a great sanctioned swim meet that'll have over 400 to 500 participants here in Polk County, and that'll be at the Rowdy Gaines Aquatic Center the 24th through 26th of April.
You know, I met him. I had a chance to meet Mr. Gaines.
Did you challenge him to a swim?
I did not challenge him, but I met him in Salt Lake City. So go figure.
One of our
conferences that we go to recruit events just like this. Got a chance to meet him in person. Got a picture. We tweeted it out, and he loves us, and we love him. So he's an Olympian.
Another celebrity here.
Yeah.
Line up for the autographs
right.
of John Oney outside the door after the show. Soccer is big for us. Obviously, FYSA is headquartered here in Polk County, and we do a lot of great FYSA events. State Cup is coming here a little later this year, but the Florida State Soccer Association also chooses Polk County to do a lot of their events, and they have their State Cup 2015 coming here as well.
Yeah, that's a big deal. HCA Tiger, I'm sorry, not the Tiger Trot, the Toga Trot, which is the 5K presented by the Heritage Christian Academy. That's coming up Saturday, April 25th. So if you want to bust out your togas and you want to do a little 5K running, this is the event for you.
And our show each week, you know, we have to send a thank you to our sponsors. Our sponsors for this week's show is the Harborside Ovations, the Hampton Inn Lakeside, Visit Florida, and Hollywood Signs. We would like to thank everybody for watching the show and supporting our partners and our sponsors. For more information on all of the sporting events here in Polk County and our whole schedule of events, go to www.centralfloridasports.com, or you call the Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing Office, 551-4750. We will have the next edition of Sports Central on Friday, April 17th, so a couple weeks away. Until then, you can watch the program re-aired at the following dates and times.